Hi everyone. The illegal passage of goods from one state to another can be a very profitable business, if of course you are ready to take the risk in case you will be caught. The smugglers are very ingenious when it comes to hiding illegal goods. I come with new ideas for you, leading customs officers into error. Today I would like to talk about the most original ideas of smuggling. In the city of Brownsville in Texas, many cars are modified for smuggling. It is very difficult to observe something illegal from the first time. Trained dogs are usually used for this purpose, and if they show signs that they have found something, then they start dismantling the car. I suspect it appeared to be an SUV that had many modifications. The car had a double floor to hide weapons and bullets in large quantities, and they certainly were not going hunting. At the Guinea airport, the police had the big surprise to catch a man carrying hummingbirds in his pants. I heard that he carries reptiles around his body, but birds in his pants is something new. The man was behaving strangely and was asked to pass a check separately. Thinking of those who discovered the poor birds, he made small pockets for hummingbirds and wrapped them up so they couldn't fly. A man from Hong Kong tried to pass customs with 94 phones wrapped around his body. He tried to introduce them into the country and then sell them with a pretty good income. The customs officers caught him because he had a very strange gait, with his back perfectly straight and unable to bend his knees properly. At first they decided to check his luggage. Then when he undressed them, they were shocked by his ingenuity and the way he practically glued the phones to his body. Especially how he managed to wrap the phones around his feet. He probably loves technology so much that he decided to risk his freedom for those phones. In 2001, at the border between the USA and Mexico, probably the strangest crossing of a border in history took place. A 42-year-old Mexican tried to cross the border illegally and enter the USA camouflaged in a suit the color of the car interior. He put the identical leather from the seats over him, thinking that in this way the customs officers will not notice him and he will pass without showing any documents. It seemed to me the most brilliant and the stupidest idea at the same time. The man stood in an uncomfortable position for several hours to finally be caught. The following story is not about smuggling, but I have to tell you about it today. The police officer in the city of Chetumal, Mexico, arrested Maria for trying to get her boyfriend out of prison, hiding in a bag. The incident took place in 2011, but since then it has remained one of the strangest ways to escape from prison. In 2007, Maria's boyfriend was sentenced to 7 years for carrying a weapon and possession of drugs. She, being very much in love with him, could not resist alone anymore and decided to get her lover out of prison as quickly as possible. And that's how she came up with the idea of the bag. Maybe they could have escaped if everything was planned better and if they had a bigger bag. After they were caught, they both went to prison. From today's top, this story seems the most ingenious to me. After an ordinary customs control, the Ukrainian customs officials discovered 25,000 cigarette packs in 55 pieces of wood. The pieces of wood were transported by train. I can't give notice how from all the amount of wood they knew exactly where the cigarettes were. They were certainly notified in time. But look at how well they were placed. Even the customs officers had a hard time removing them because of how well they were hidden. Who would have thought of such a possibility of smuggling? This proves to us once again that we humans have no limits when we really want something. This young man tried to take out of the country illegally a large amount of gold hidden in his clothes. He had small pockets sewn into each coat where he put the pieces of gold. He was arrested together with his accomplices at the airport in Bangladesh. Some of they also hid the gold in shoes or underwear. In total, the customs officers discovered 2.5 kilograms of gold. We are definitely talking about a nice amount of money here. When you see a family with 3 children who wants to cross the border to go shopping or to visit new places, you don't think that they could do smuggling. A good car, harmless people. They can't all be suspected of smuggling. But the customs officers, they are very hard to lie. Even a few small scratches can be the reason for a total control of the car. In the present case, they had to break a piece of the car to get to the contraband. An ordinary family tries to cross the border, dozens of packages with money. Progress does not stand still, and smugglers are usually equipped with the latest technologies. Drones are very useful for them. They do not take up much space. They do not make noise, and they are very easy to handle. In 2016 in Great Britain, the authorities began to fight very seriously with this phenomenon and to create anti-drone systems. Even prison inmates received weapons or drugs with the help of drones. Endangered animals are very much in demand everywhere. They are sold very quickly at very high prices. That's why smugglers try to take such animals as often as possible. In Norway, a tourist tried to smuggle 14 snakes and 10 lizards. He smuggled them in bags or small boxes and then stuck them to his body. At the time of the control, the man was very agitated, and what is more interesting, in his hand luggage the law enforcement officers discovered a spider. The smuggler was immediately arrested and the animals were taken by specialists in zootechnics.